I just got done having a pretty serious negotiation with my daughter about her breakfast, so that was fun. It's always very entertaining when they suddenly refuse to eat something that they have eaten many times before and enjoyed many times before. Also, she's in her toy room right now playing, so there's going to be background noise. I just didn't want to mess with that because she's having a lot of fun and I didn't want to relocate her and ruin her little moment. But that's motherhood for you. Anyways, hi guys, it's Dawn, aspiring author of adult fantasy, here to recap my first quarter goals and how they went and talk about my new goals for the second quarter. So I think the way I'm going to structure it today is do my recap for my writing goals from the first quarter and then introduce my new writing goals and then move on to reading and do the same thing. I think it'll just work better that way. So let's start with how my writing went in the first quarter of the year. So my top priority for the first quarter was finishing my novella for the Indie Bookworm book box, and I totally did that, and I ended up printing myself a keepsake copy and then several more copies to give to family and friends who wanted to read it, which was a lot of fun. I used Barnes & Noble Press to print these. These are just personal copies. They're not published copies technically. And I am working on kind of a how-to tutorial type video for that, which I think will be next week's video or the week after. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe so that you'll be notified when that goes up. But I'll be talking about how I set up the cover, the inner formatting, and all that kind of stuff, just for a very, 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 very basic beginner tutorial. But yeah, I am super, super proud of this little story. I had so much fun writing it, and I have a lot more plans for it in the future. If you're new to my channel, this is basically a gunpowder fantasy retelling of Pride and Prejudice with elves and goblins. So it's a lot of fun. It's pretty silly. It's got some good romance, some action, all that kind of jazz. And it was just a hoot to write. It ended up being around 68,000 words when it was finished. So technically it's not a novella. It is a short novel. However, in the future, when I expand it, it's going to be a lot longer. So I'm just going to continue to call this version the novella version, just to keep things straight for myself. But yeah, technically it's not a novella. Let's go through what word counts I got throughout the first quarter. In January, I got a little over 16,000 words. February was my best month. I got over 20,000 words. March was my worst month, but that's when I finished the novella, and then I was doing outlining for the rest of the month, so not surprising, but that was a little over 13,000 words, which actually put me in total over 50,000 words. So I got, for the entire first quarter, 50,305 words, which for 3 months is pretty good. My secondary goal for the first quarter was to outline the Russian fairy tale in preparation for Camp NaNoWriMo. I technically didn't finish this goal, but I got enough of the outline done for me to start the project in April, and that is what I have been sort of working on in April. However, I did run into some roadblocks that affected that. So the thing is, I don't want to go too much in detail with how April is going yet, because I definitely in the past have said too much too early, like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then a week later, I'm like, actually, I'm not anymore. And it's just very annoying. And I imagine, like, for you as the viewer, it's also annoying. So suffice it to say that April isn't going how I originally planned for it to go, but not in a negative way, if that makes sense. So when I do my recap at the end of April, sorry, I'm waving my pen around. When I do my recap at the end of April for Camp NaNoWriMo, I will go more into depth with this, because I'm hoping at that point I will have a more concrete plan and won't be so wishy-washy about it. But Camp NaNoWriMo is a little weird right now. And for that reason, it also makes it hard for me to definitively tell you guys my writing goals for the first quarter. So I'm going to keep it very broad until I can clarify, like I said in that end of Camp NaNoWriMo video. So my goal for the second quarter is to have at least 5 writing sessions a week. And then if I'm in a drafting phase, which I'm hoping will be May and June, I want to get at least 20,000 words done per month. So it's kind of an either or goal, or really it can be both at the same time as well. But if I'm like outlining or planning, I need to have at least 5 sessions a week. And if I'm drafting, I also want to have 5 sessions a week, but I'm also aiming for 20,000 words in a month. But like I said, I will add more clarification later when I feel a little more confident in my plan. But that's where I'm going to leave it right now as far as my writing goals for the second quarter. So watch out for that video at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. Let's talk about reading goals. So I actually did really well in the first quarter. I read 23 books. And if you remember from my 2021 goals video, my reading goal this year is 41 books. And technically I also have like a secondary, like very optimistical of 100 books that I got kind of shanghaied into doing with my sister. However, my official goal is still 41 books. And like I said, I got 23 books read in the first quarter, which is more than half of my goal for the year. Pretty crazy. So reading was going really, really, really well for me. And I actually had a streak of several books that I loved. So a lot of the books that I read in the first quarter were 4 or 5 stars, which was awesome. We always love when we feel like our reading time is well spent. However, then a little somebody decided to just ruin things. This is Don't Call the Wolf by Alexandra Ross. You can see I'm not even halfway through it. I don't like this book. I don't like the writing style. I thought the plot was kind of wishy-washy. All the characters were really tropey, and yeah, it kind of killed my vibe, my reading vibe and my momentum. And this was the start of my reading slump, which I expected to have one. I feel like I have one every year, but it was just disappointing because, you know, I had such great momentum. I got 23 books done, and then this one was like, honey. And yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm going to return to it and try to finish it, because really, like, there was nothing about this book except for the Polish fantasy world building that I enjoyed. Like, that was the only thing I liked. Everything else I was like, And then after that, I attempted to read The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is one that a friend and I were reading together for like our little unofficial book group that we want to do together. And I actually was really enjoying it. I'm over halfway through it. And then a scene at a little just after the midpoint absolutely killed it for me. I won't go into it yet because I'm hoping to actually finish it at some point and then do a full review with a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section. But oh man, I suddenly hated the main character and kind of the character that's secondary to that main character. It's hard to explain, but I hated the main character and I didn't care about the plot anymore because it made me so mad. So I will attempt to return to this book, but yeah, this didn't help. So like I already was feeling kind of about reading because of this one, and then I thought I was recovering with this one, and then it punched me in the face. So I don't appreciate that. But now, to kind of cleanse my palate and just do something really light, I am reading Green Rider by Kristen Britton. This is like the tropiest, Tolkieniest, basic adult fantasy ever. Like, there's nothing really innovative or unique about it. It's very predictable so far. But in a way, I think I need that right now. I think I just need something that's like easy and light and entertaining. So I am enjoying this so far. I'm about a quarter of the way through. And like the writing style is fine. It's just, like I said, it's very, very tropey and very predictable. And it doesn't feel like that imaginative, I guess, because it is taking inspiration from such well established things in Western fantasy, if that makes sense. Got some child noise back there. I think she's playing with the cat and she's like making weird like monkey noises or something. I don't know. But yeah, so because I'm in a reading slump right now, I don't want to push myself too hard for the rest of April or really May. So I'm just going to read at my own pace, not try to aim for a specific number, but I do want to keep reading consistently. I don't want to do what I did last year and not read for, I think it was like 2 or 3 solid months. So I'm just going to read slow and steady and listen to my feelings, allow myself to just completely be a mood reader and call it good. If I end up reaching my 41 book goal before the end of the year, I think I'll just up it to like 52, so it's 1 book per week. But we'll see, because if this slump worsens or something, or if I hit a second slump in some other time of the year, then I'll just aim for the 41 and call it good. I think that's about it for this video. I know my goals don't seem that well defined, especially my reading goals. But I'm just trying to be easy on myself, because this is the same time of year that I kind of struggled last year, and I don't want to beat myself over the head and be really, really hard on myself this year. So I'm just taking it slow, trying to be consistent. Luckily, I don't feel the slump as much with my writing, so I don't think that'll be affected as much. But yeah, my reading she's struggling. Once again, if you guys are interested in seeing how I made this keepsake copy of my novella, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when the video goes up, hopefully next week or the week after. I also recently reorganized my creative room, so my reading and writing room, and so I want to film a tour of that, I guess. I think that would be enjoyable, so that will either be next week's video or the week after. So those videos are kind of up in the air which one will be scheduled first, but those are the 2 next videos I have planned. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what goals you have for your second quarter, how your first quarter went, down in the comments below. I hope you guys continue to have a great time doing Camp NaNoWriMo. If you are, I hope you have a productive and positive week. And as always, happy writing. Bye.